Welcome, everybody. I'm Coach Nat with the Queer Gym, and today I'm hanging out with my client Becca, who has been crushing it. And I was like, yo, you are someone's fitness inspo. Let's share your story. So thanks for being here today, Becca. I appreciate your time. Let's jump right in. Give us a little
Yeah.
introduction. Tell me a little bit about you, where you're from, profession. What was life like before the gym?
Before the gym, I just turned 40 back in May. And one of my big goals for turning 40 was to really kind of turn my health around. And so this was kind of part of it. I was still really struggling with finding good support and community with fitness. It's like I was used to kind of doing stuff by myself at the gym, but I was like, I need a little bit more to really kind of take everything to the next level. So it's just like I just started kind of poking around on Instagram and your stuff, and then you popped in my DMs and like, you want to do a client call? And so, okay, like, why not? Why not do it?
So if you had to sum it up in one word, what would you pick in terms of where you were when you first started?
Just really, really lost. So the pandemic kind of screwed me up, and then it's taken a couple years for me to kind of get back to like really functioning, and then just kind of clean myself up and just get back to a lot better habits. So this was kind of one other piece of the puzzle to kind of come back to myself.
Hmm. The second favorite word for me besides homo is habits.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, walk me through a typical day before you join. Like what did that day look like?
It's like I'd kind of wake up, throw something together to eat, head over to work, have my work day. I would go to the gym after work, but I'd always kind of half-ass it. And I hadn't really been meal prepping for a long time. So it's just like I'd kind of pick out a bunch of frozen foods, chips, garbage foods, stuff like that. And it's just that really affected me. And so, of course, I put on a lot of weight and I'd do that. And it's just like I'd come home and doom scroll and just wouldn't get enough sleep. And so it's just like everything was just completely off. It was just a lot of habits that needed just a little bit of tweaking. And then it's just like things really started to fall in line.
It's so interesting to like hear you describe your day before joining because the vision I have of you on your day to day now, like I just like have this vision of like kick ass at work, comes home, kicks ass at life, like just very like on it. You just joined 6 months ago, so to hear you talk about that change in just your daily life is
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at setting up completely reconfiguring my desk setup at home, and I'm going to get a walking pad because it's turning into fall winter, so it's going to be dark and like, not going to be able to get outside. All the trailheads are closed, so like I didn't even consider that before the gym. What did you do to me?
But you know, the crazy part about all that is that it's only been 6 months.
Yeah, I know. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, I did actually make a lot of big changes in 6 months.
When someone's really ready to commit, I can say as a blanket statement, most people can completely do a 180 in their health if they lock in for 6 months. 6 months will add a decade to your fucking life and quality.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's only been 6 months, boo.
yeah, crazy.
So like, what was that moment when you're just like, fuck this, like enough is enough?
I think a little bit before I joined, I was just like, I have to do something. I think it was probably pretty close to when I was at my heaviest. It's like I was at one size of pants and those were still getting tight and I like I had zero self-confidence. I was hiding in baggy clothes. I didn't want to have my picture taken or anything like that. And that and just turning 40, I was like, I really need to get my shit together. Once you hit 40 and you don't at least start trying to fix that stuff, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem pretty quickly. So I was just like, I don't want that. It's if I can control it, I'm gonna do that and try and fix it.
I've had the gym since I was in my mid 20s.
Mhm.
And, I think it first peeks his head out when you hit 30. And it's kind of like, hey, but if you're 40 and you still haven't done shit about it, it's like screaming at you at that point, like no more hey, more like, hey, wake the fuck up. We got to do something about it. So why the queer gym specifically?
that it's another part of my own journey of kind of finding myself. I've lived in very, very male oriented, male dominated professions and just personal environments and things like that. It's just like everything was just, I was surrounded by straight people and I was tired of it because I'm bisexual. And so I was like, I really need to find just queer community. And that's been my own personal journey, probably about the last 2 years, is to really find stuff just locally for me to go do and just seeking anything else out. It's like going to the gym or anything like finding clothes, finding music, anything like that. Just really walking in and finding queer community and
You-
supporting it.
You've been intentional about finding the gayness.
Yep.
Okay, so you had the aha moment, you joined. What was that
Mhm.
first impression for you?
It's a little bit when you see kind of the layout of how to start tracking. I think the tracking was probably the most intimidating thing for me because I hadn't done that for a long time. But the rest of it, I was kind of like, okay, it's not that crazy. It's just like one little thing, and you just keep building. Once I saw that, I was like, it makes sense because that makes things really sustainable instead of being like, you're going to hit the gym and you're going to lift weights until you throw up. And if you don't do that, you're not doing the work kind of thing. It's like, no, this is really work to do to keep it sustainable. So,
Yeah, yeah. Forever's better than fast, is what I say.
yeah.
So you mentioned a big part of what attracted you to the queer gym was building on a queer community for yourself. How would you say that the community at the queer gym kind of helped you along your journey?
I love our little pods that we have, and it's like everybody in them has just been so supportive in the pods, and then just everybody in general. It's just like everybody's really rooting each other on, and it's really nice to just meet other people in the country, even if it's online, and just see how they're living their lives, and just know that like we're all in this together. And it's like if we have bad moments, it's just like you can get through this. You have that support to really lean on.
Yeah, it definitely helps to find something that you enjoy doing it, but more importantly, in terms of being able to stick to something, it's finding who to do it with that you also enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been with us 6 months. What have been the wins, the changes?
I think one of the biggest things is getting back into meal prepping. That's huge for me because I did it up pretty much until this last big chunk of burnout. Getting back into that has just helped me tremendously in terms of just everything that's fueling my workouts, just eating right. That's been huge. I think that's probably one of the biggest ways I've seen a lot of change. And that, of course, has resulted in some pretty significant weight loss. So it's like I'm down, I think, probably 3 sizes in clothes. So, and it does, I don't feel like I did anything crazy either.
Wow. 3 sizes? I didn't know that part.
Yeah. Yeah. At my heaviest, I was size 14 clothes were really tight on me. And so now I'm starting to buy like size 8, size 10. So,
Wow. And you said you
yeah.
started with this when you were at your heaviest. What was that now, and where are
Or
you down now to?
It was a little bit after I got diagnosed and started ADHD medication. When I was at my heaviest, I was 185. And then I think when I started, I was about 170. And now I'm about 150.
Physically, energetically, what would you say were been some of those changes?
Physically, it's just my energy is just a lot more steady throughout the day. I don't have big crashes like I used to in the afternoon. I think because my blood sugar was kind of all over the place. It's a lot more steady. I don't have the crazy brain fog that I did. So yeah, just I feel a lot better and just like I noticed like my sleep's starting to get a lot better too, which that feeds into other things as well.
Yeah. I like those little moments that you shared of like walking past a mirror and being like, oh shit, who's that?
Yeah,
Shoulders. Oh,
yeah. That was such a weird moment because it's for a while it's just like I didn't like looking in the mirror. I didn't like looking at myself. And then I just looked in the mirror. I was like, oh, okay. I recognized myself again. So that was really cool.
I mean, when you break your own neck, Flex.
Yeah.
So, in this whole journey, what do you think has been the most challenging part, and how did you push through that?
I think a lot of the mindset of getting out of that diet mindset, like, yes, it's a deficit sort of thing, but it's like, this is just the numbers. For me, instead of freaking out about being on yet another diet, I'm just like, these are the numbers that I have to hit. And it's all information to help me figure out what's going to be sustainable. It's like, if I have to tweak it and lose a little bit of weight, I can do this. If I have to maintain, it's going to be this. Just getting away from just constantly freaking out about that kind of stuff and taking it much more from kind of like a detached and really logical perspective,
Mm.
that has been really, really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about, I want something sustainable, but that has to start with your mind.
Yeah.
And, I don't blame it. Like, we're shaking off decades of toxic fitness culture, but I think definitely like changing that mindset around what sustainability actually looks like, because that's a buzzword right now. We love talking about sustainability, but like, what does that timeline look like? And I think if you want sustainable results, we have to start with this change about sustainability in our own heads.
Yeah.
So, if you were to pick a title for
Mm-hmm.
your transformation journey, what would that be?
Oh man, I think it's kind of like just finding my way back to myself and really tapping back into my inner athlete, because I did powerlifting in high school and in college. I played lacrosse in high school, so I was pretty active for that kind of stuff. I get excited about that because I'm like, let me see what I can do and let me track my progress. So that's been really fun.
Yeah, you're definitely at the fun part of the journey now where it's like you get to, lift heavy shit and eat a lot.
Yeah.
So if you could send a message back to old Becca 6 months ago when you started, what would you tell old Becca?
Don't freak out. It's not as big of a deal as you think it is. It's absolutely worth every single penny and single little moment. Then it's just like, okay, you look at it and it's just all habit building, kind of like you said at the beginning. It's not massive overhaul. It's just one little thing at a time. I had clothes in my closet that I kind of hung on to, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to fit into those again. And I was always like, well, let's just keep it just in case. And so I have a couple pieces of clothing that I can finally fit into again. So that's really exciting.
The only thing better than like new clothes is old clothes that you now fit back into. Well, Becca, thanks for coming on here and sharing your story. You're not going to believe me when I tell you this. No one ever does. But often in breakout rooms or in my coaching calls or on my sales calls with people, they're always like, "Hey, I saw that, so and so story, and like that's what got me to like do it." So I
Yeah.
guarantee you're going to be somebody's fitness inspo if not already.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping me make happy, healthy homos and getting the inspo out there.
Yeah.
We're
Absolutely.
proud of you.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck you waiting for. If you're trying to be a happy, healthy homo, that's all I got for you. Take care.